You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks. FWP, so good I listen weekly. Welcome to Final Wrestling Place.
I am Tim.
Oh, I'm still Marcus.
And welcome to episode 301 of Final Wrestling Place, available wherever you can get your podcasts and exclusively on video on Patreon. And everything can be found on Linktree/Final Wrestling Place. It has been an eventful week for us, coming off the heels of WrestleMania 41, and then the launch of the Patreon and all the good stuff and the backs and the forths. But Marcus, how are you, my man?
I'm good. My only banter I want to bring to the table this week is, Tim, do you think 100 guys could beat one gorilla?
Is it a normal sized gorilla, or is it's like a regular gorilla?
Regular gorilla.
And regular dudes.
And regular dudes.
So I'm just asking, I'm going to the mall.
Mm-hmm.
And I hold up a sign that says, "Who wants to fight a gorilla?"
Yeah.
And I'm just taking the first 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
That gorilla's going down.
You think so?
The 100 people. Okay. A person who would willingly fight a gorilla is already crazy. There's 100 of them. I'm sure one of them thinks they know MMA. There's going to be at least 5 cops. Like, you got to think. I think 5 cops would love to have a field day on a gorilla. You know what I mean?
I don't think the cops are going to be able to get the gorilla onto its stomach. By
themselves, no. But with 95 other people running distraction, like, if the 100 people could sync up and find a way to, like, circle up on a gorilla and, like, it's the Shield. It's like the Nexus. Can John Cena take 8 wrestlers at the same time? You bet. But can he take 8 working together all as one? Not a chance. The gorilla, yeah, I think 100 people. I don't think the gorilla is smoked. I think 30% of the 30% of the mob have injuries that need to go to the hospital. I think 30%, that's a fair number, because there's probably people who are like, oh, this will be cool, and then immediately get, like, their arm broken from just the sheer strength of the gorilla. Okay? I think 100 people could take a gorilla. Especially willing participants.
Mm.
Now, if I'm, like, hijacking 100 people, and it's like a saw trap, like, I want to play a game. And, like, for too long, you all have monkeyed around. Today, the monkey is you. I've locked you inside of a cage with Coco the gorilla. Sign language is over. It's time to fight. Live or die. Make your choice. And that's how it is. And then the gorilla is going to be hopped up on something. I don't know what psychedelic drugs you can give it's not like, have you ever heard the story about, I think it was the CIA or someone in America a long time ago tried to run an experiment on dolphins, giving them LSD to see if they become, like, better fighting animals.
Okay.
And instead, it just made the dolphins horny and want to bang the female trainer that was, like, giving them the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta find this story, or at least make sure I'm recalling it correctly.
No,
If you just dolphins LSD, it's NASA. Margaret Howell Lovett. Yeah. They with funding by NASA and the US Navy with the goal of speaking to extraterrestrial life forms. In order to do this, they built a dolphinarium. Yeah, and basically, okay, so it was the way to teach. They were trying to teach the dolphins English. Yeah, okay. I think this is true. Yep, this is true. They had sexual urges and basically, yep. It's a fascinating piece of information that, the US government decided they were going to give dolphins LSD for whatever reason.
Mm.
And this was in the 80s. So literally in my lifetime. Wait, was it the 80s? No, it looks like it's the 60s. Never mind. 1964. Not my lifetime. Everybody was on LSD in the 60s though, right? Like that was
Allegedly.
that was the walking around drug. That's how Woodstock happened. Allegedly. Spectrox, YouTube terms of service, Minecraft, Christian Minecraft server, the whole line. But we have a lot to talk about. It's a little bit of a lot. Of course, we got to jingle them keys for us WWE babies. We have not had the chance to fully digest the week that was the week after WrestleMania. We're talking about that. We're back on our AEW steez because what they're doing is worth talking about. But before we get into voicemails,
Before we get into any of that,
is
that a Killer Karrion Kross shirt?
I didn't want you to talk about it. Okay. I had to do some car work today. Mm-hmm. So I grabbed the shirt. I didn't care if it got messed up. Mm-hmm. Luckily, it didn't get too messed up, and I didn't want to change shirts. I'm lazy. Uh-huh. This was, for the record, this was given to me as a gag Christmas gift by our friends at 3CT. Every year for Christmas, we always buy shirts that we hate for each other. And that's the gag. And so
I hate it for you, but I think you love it. I think you like Karrion Kross.
Well, I do right now because Karrion Kross is actually kind of interesting. We're
getting a little bit closer to getting that Jesse the Body impression on TV. It's gonna happen any day now.
What do you mean to tell me? Like, it's gonna be great. Like, when the bell rings, I don't care about Killer Karrion Kross. But if he's doing stuff online, I'm in. If he's doing promos, I'm in. Don't ring the bell. Don't do it. Stop. It's like if Sean O'Hare lost all of his in-ring talent. That's Karrion Kross.
I saw a dark match with McIntyre and Karrion Kross, and it's still one of the better live matches I've seen in the last handful of years. Because there was no, he didn't have to get his stuff in. He was just working generic heel material, and McIntyre was just playing like Hogan.
Cool.
And it was amazing. And I was like,
this guy
put this on TV. This is good. This is good.
I think, especially in Triple Paul's WWE, there is a spot for a Karrion Kross. There is a place for him to be successful.
Karrion Kross and the Wyatt Six, and I'm trying to think of any of their spooky gimmicks. It almost feels like
Aleister Black. More on him later.
It almost feels like your old take on too many patriotic holidays in this country.
We got Memorial Flag Day, we got Memorial Day. Yep.
Earth Day, kind of, sort of. Pearl Harbor, D-Day, 4th of July.
Day, not Venereal Disease Day, or VJ Day. I don't know what it's called. But yeah, like there's Memorial Day, there's Memorial Day, Labor Day, kind of Veterans Day, the 4th of July, like literally wrap every patriotic holiday into the 4th of July, and that's where you celebrate everything.
Arbor Day feels like one.
See, Arbor Day, Earth Day, like all of those nature holidays can be wrapped into one too.
Okay.
And you put it on 420 because obviously, like that's it. But it was because there's one month in the year that does not have a holiday. I think it's August. So my whole point, this was like when I wrote for the college newspaper, another Tim factoid that could go on the Patreon at some point. I wrote in the editorial section, and I wrote this like comedic piece of like, too many holidays. Why doesn't August have a holiday? Like all it is the harbinger of doom for kids between the ages of 6 and 24. Because it's the day they go back to school. Right? There's nothing cool that happens in August. Unless you're a wrestling fan and it's SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. But even then, like, that's an nth of the people where it's like, oh, it was because I thought Girl Scout cookies deserve their own holiday.
Mm.
The day that Girl Scout cookies comes out needed to be a holiday day. And now I don't feel that way because I'm a healthy boy. But I could easily change my ways and take the Girl Scouts out and put like the Super Bowl or something.
Well, if they just push everything back a week, the Super Bowl will be on the day after will be President's Day.
See, but then you're sharing the Monday after the Super Bowl with another holiday, and it deserves its own holiday. So if you move the President's Day to August, that gives us another day off.
How many presidents are really worth celebrating? Let's have a discussion.
At least 45 of them. Well, do you count the current one as one or two? Your silence speaks volumes. Him, I'm sure there's Woodrow Wilson, probably not. Like cut Woodrow Wilson out. Who? Reagan. Yeah, cut. Yeah. Okay, so we're down to 44. That's a good number. 44. Solid number. We're done. Wilson, 45. Reagan. Gone. Out of here. Easy.
As you were saying, Mr. Tim.
Yes. I don't know what I was saying because you literally just put me on a tangent about holidays, and it's great.
We were talking. We were previewing the show.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. So you were talking.
Been crushing it.
The point was, there's too many spooky gimmicks. We need to solidify all the spooky gimmicks into one. Right. Yes. Correct. And that's what AEW did for a little bit, except Sky Blue didn't become a member of the House of Black. Missed opportunity. I digress. Yes. But before we get into voicemails, before we talk about Jingle and the Keys, before we talk about AEW, we need to talk about the passing of Steve Mongo McMichael. Long time. He's in the NFL Hall of Fame, or the Pro Football Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, he got in last year. Yep.
He got in last year before he passed away. Hey, the NFL can do it. Why can't the WWE? Kamala, looking at Earthquake, looking at you. But passed away a long bout with, he had ALS.
Yes.
And I was both heartbroken. Every time I would see videos or pictures of Mongo in his current state, I was equal parts heartbroken and like encouraged. Because it's like he absolutely was a shell of his former self, but he was still a fighter and he fought through all of it. And like, especially when you have a debilitating illness like that. The minute you pass away is there's two reasons why. Either you mentally give up or you physically give up. And this one, it was physical. That I think that his spirit wanted to keep fighting. This is just me editorializing the man, but you survive this long, it's because your body can't go no more. So amazing for him. A fantastic person to even study in wrestling. What's crazy is that I think there's a whole bunch of fans that only know him from Botchamania, where they used to do the Mongo. Never mind that ish. Here comes Mongo. And they would play like just a random Mongo clip, like the one that was going around this week of, listen here, David boy. And just
don't be drinking coffee when a man's trying to talk to you.
And he backhands the coffee.
Listen here, David boy.
And then they fight. Like, that's the only perfect man stuff. But there was a conversation, I believe it was on We Need Wrestling. Shout out to Brett and DJ. Where does Mongo, or was it At Odds? But one of them talked about where. We Need Wrestling. Okay, where Mongo fits in the pantheon of all-time horsemen, which I would be remiss to say we did an episode ranking good place, bad place, 4 horsemen during our Stables season. It's available on our feed. I might dig it up and highlight it to go through it. But you and I are very high on Mongo as a horseman.
Yeah.
I think he's a top tier horseman. And you look at it, when you view horsemen, I look at horsemen like I view my movie experience Batman. There's who's a good Batman and who's a good Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And for the horseman, either you're a horseman in the ring or you're a horseman out of the ring. The out of the ring is your Bruce Waynes. The in the rings are your Batman. And Mongo is a dead-on Bruce Wayne horseman outside of the ring. He don't belong in the wrestling portion of horseman, but he absolutely belongs. He's earned his spot more so than Sid, more so than Pillman, more so than I think Benoit and Malenko. Paul Roma, get him out of there. Ole, I don't care what a lot of people have to say about Ole Anderson. That man stunk out loud. He's trash. All-time bad. How are you going to cape up for him? He's dog water, dude. Like, no. Mongo over Ole. He can give you everything Ole would have given you and then some. Plus, he's a Super Bowl champion, and he gave us Deborah. What'd Ole give us? The Shockmaster. Or whatever. The Black Scorpion.
Both? I don't know.
Yes. Either or both. Like, yeah. So all those guys to me beneath. Well, I don't know. I told you to go listen to the Patreon. I don't know where we had him there. But now in 2025, the goalposts have moved. Mongo is in the top half. At least the top half of Horsemen. If you're making a Horseman Mount Rushmore, who are the all-time 4 horsemen? It's Rick and Arn.
Yep.
Easy 1-2.
Barry
Mongo?
and Tully.
Who?
Barry and Tully.
Barry over Mongo?
Barry over Mongo.
Nah.
Barry over Mongo. But if we're not counting JJ, if we are counting JJ, then I would think I would have Mongo 6th.
Yeah, because JJ is a horseman. JJ is a horseman. Mongo's
give me Mongo.
See, I think JJ is 4th for me. Mongo's 5th and Barry's 6th. But again, we're like, it's splicing hairs and like putting this here and this not here and whatever. But Mongo, man, you're a legend. Maybe at some point we do like a small dive into Mongo for the Patreon or something else, which give people a reason to subscribe at any level. We appreciate those early first adopters to the Patreon. Looking at trying to find a way to give you guys maybe a little extra incentive for being the first subscribers to the Patreon. We're floating around an idea for that. But right now, enough about that. Let's get into the show proper. And of course, voicemails. And we can only start with the Godfather himself. It's Joe.
Hey, boys, it's Joe. Congratulations on getting to episode 300. I wanted to call after you actually got there. You know, I didn't want to congratulate you before the show happened. Anyway, about halfway through the show, still listening, might call back later, who knows. But I want to address something that young Ed brought up in his question in regards to what Tommy Dreamer was going to do to Paul Heyman at WrestleMania. We are all taking into consideration that Tom Dreamer is some expert marksman. We're all like, oh, well, if Tommy Dreamer was going to take the shot at Paul Heyman, he was going to miss him. Now, granted, listen, I'm not here to cast aspersions on someone who's a man of sizable carriage as well, but Paul Heyman, not a tough target to miss, but like I said, we're all acting like Tom Dreamer's like an expert marksman. Like 2 shots, throw his pose up in there, he'll be able to get them off. That being said, Paul Heyman gets shot, the shot goes off, JR gets hit, anybody else around ringside that's a part of the company gets hit, that show continues. The only way that show does not continue is if Tommy hit a fan. Then they have no choice. Then, again, they can't just sweep it under the rug. They can't whatever. And, again, Paul Heyman could get shot and not killed, but if a fan gets shot, that show is getting stopped. Anyone else, live or dead after Tommy Dreamer takes that shot, that show is continuing. That's the Vince McMahon way. That's the Paul Levesque way. Love you. Love you all the time.
See, I never thought of anything of Tommy missing the shot. Because in my head, Tommy's jumping the rail,
right,
and he's getting in Paul's face.
Oh, okay.
I think he's shooting him in the face to face. Tom is looking him in the eyes, and like, I'm gonna watch you die, allegedly. Water gun.
I always imagined it from the back.
No.
Hop the rail.
Bang.
Poof. Poof.
Poof, poof. Poof, pose, poof. Got it. The triple P.
Again, you wouldn't want to risk hitting JR.
But that's why if it's in your face, like if he's looking at him,
he can, or it can go through.
Man of sizable carriage. How much ducking, dodging, dipping, diving, and dodging is Paul Heyman doing from a bullet? Is he Superman?
I would like to say, you know how they have like those simulators that like simulate like crime scenes and like how did this fall happen?
Mythbusters?
Sure.
Or what? What's the show? Deadliest Warrior?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah. I want like a janky on like Windows 98 type simulation of this happening like 100 times. And I would like to like place a small opportunity on like Heyman surviving the poof in at least like 10 of those scenarios. I think he survives. And I think he like sells. And like it ends up it's like just in his shoulder or like it avoided a danger zone.
So it depends on where Tommy poofs him.
Mm-hmm.
Because it all depends. Because if he doesn't hit like if he doesn't poof him in the thigh or the head or the chest,
I mean,
I think he
live
survived.
TV. You gotta go.
Oh, you gotta blammy him.
Yeah.
Real good. You gotta Jackson Pollock him. Real nice.
Headshot Jones.
Yeah, money shot. Get him in the face. Make it work. Pause. But Joe's just a guy asking questions on the internet. I appreciate it. That's big energy from the Godfather. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, Joe, for the call. Next up.
Hey, Marcus. Hey, Tim. It's Kenny. First time, long time. Hope you guys are good. So I called in to add on about this, but I want to get your guys' take on it, too. Real bummed about this whole AAA selling out to the end, Titan Sports, TKO, whatever it is. But the couple of guys that are maybe going along with it, or they at least have the rights to, just made me think about that time in Easton, Pennsylvania, where Aerostar, as part of an entrance, would he would bring a lighter and a can of hairspray and do like the flamethrower gimmick. And he came out to Easton, Pennsylvania with Drago and that other loser who can't get to Ohio for some reason. And they get up to do this thing, and Aerostar hits the flamethrower, and then all the fans start throwing streamers, and it was like, oh boy, this could be real bad. And Aerostar, for some reason, didn't bring out the flame sword next couple days during that weekend. They still won their matches, though. Well, you think Aerostar is going to flame sword Lexus King's beard off his face? How about it? Get wrecked, Bob.
One could dream, one could hope and pray that Lexus King's beard gets immediately evaporated off of his face thanks to an Aerostar flame sword. I'm going to go with, I like your recollection. If only there was a person that I knew personally that could talk about the nuance, multiple people who could talk about the nuances of Aerostar doing the flame gimmick in the Easton Funplex at the King of Trios, which, by the way, I went back and looked. I was there for the show. I absolutely remember. I think I was there for all 3 nights that year. And I completely forgot that Ray Phoenix was on that team. I remember Drago and Aerostar, and I couldn't tell you the third person at all. Didn't he say a dirty word too?
Somebody did. I don't remember who did.
I think it was Phoenix, because Phoenix is the only dude who could kind of speak English of the team. Because I remember he was very sorry the next night.
Mm-hmm.
He said something. I don't remember what he said, but not as bad as that other time at National Pro Wrestling Day. Which, again, if you know, you know. Maybe I know somebody who can talk about that too. Yeah, it was kind of auspiciously missing. Auspiciously missing, and I would love to see Lexus King's beard get evaporated. But the whole question goes with feeling bad about AAA being swallowed up by the conglomerate. And I know we talked about it a little bit last week on the podcast. I still don't feel any better about the acquisition at all. Just for everybody's edification, they ain't coming anywhere near close to anyone on the main roster. If they do, it is just the Lucha contingent of Penta, Ray, Dom, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio. Fenix and Mysterio. And maybe the LWO. And then Steph Vicker. Those are the only people from and Steph's technically NXT, so she's going to be included anyways. But WWE participation, Dom, Ray, Phoenix, Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Dragon Lee. That's it. Or Dom, sorry. Those are the only 5.
Not good. I think collaboration is great. I think expansion, not good. It's not good. It stinks. It's gonna stink. They talked about it on Ad Odds how the edict's already coming in. It's that meme of Adam Silver. Get ready to learn Chinese, buddy. Like, get ready to learn English. Everybody there, and I hate it. Triple H learned how to run the business from the same guy we couldn't wait to see leave. Some things are a little bit better, but a lot of things are going to stay the same. A lot of things are going to get worse. This is one of them. The WWE playbook. He has talked about it going back to when he being Triple H pal. I talked about it going back to like the Performance Center days, very early on. The WWE playbook. You know, you can use the analogy. You could be a good player, whatever. You hit free agency and you decide to go to the Patriots. The Patriots were the team at the time. You go to the Patriots, you're going to run the Patriots playbook. You're going to do things the Patriot way because that's what works for them. And if you want to win at the highest level, you go be a Patriot and fit into whatever role they have for you. And part of that WWE Patriot way is gobbling up companies and taking who they want, ruining a good portion of those people, and then killing the territory, killing the town, and then looking around being like, well, that wasn't our fault. It was not enough actual star power. Too much damage was done. Whatever the case is. Once they found out WWE was involved, they want the WWE experience. They don't want the same AAA experience. They want the WWE experience. I mean, time will tell how bad it's going to be, but I don't feel good about it. Don't feel good. They're going to take a lot of stars in that first year or so. And then we'll see what they got.
So I don't want this to come off like I'm caping for Triple H at all, but this definitely feels more like a TKO move because look at UFC, right? Like WWE's footprint or WWE's playbook of doing this has been kind of limited to just the British Indies. And even then, like the British Indies still survived. They rated the talent. They didn't take the companies per se, but essentially by taking the talent, you ruin the companies. But like Progress and IWC, they're still running today. But the Zuffa brand bought Strikeforce. They bought One. They bought like every single form of mixed martial arts competition that was there that wasn't UFC. And that's what I feel this is for AAA. Like, it's that brain trust because in the scheme of things, Triple H is only the chief content officer of WWE. It wasn't WWE that acquired AAA. It was TKO. And so the board made that decision, and the board is made up of people who I think, if I remember correctly, the split is 5-4 UFC old guard versus WWE old guard. And like, I know Nick Khan is a part of it as the sitting president of WWE, and Dana White is on it as the sitting president of UFC. And of course, Dwayne's the head of the board, and of course, his good friend Ari Emanuel. Blah blah blah. You have to. That's right. Whenever you say his name, slap your arm, goosebumps, bloodline rules, anything goes. Maybe blood in hand, throat slit, Rizzlers, and Papa Tooie, $7 Productions, Project Rock, Zoa Energy.
I think it's still a WWE move, and it's still a Triple H move, because when Triple H had power in NXT, they went and they got Progress, and they got all these other companies in bed with them and relying on them, and took the talent. And then when the talent's gone, territory dies. WWE wasn't in acquisition mode of buying companies then. They are now. It wasn't just the UK. We also see it here in the States with GCW very clearly, with the WWE ID thing, whatever that's supposed to be. There's been the rumored interest in Prestige, I think, out in Washington. It seems like they've maybe steered clear of that.
Isn't that Swerve's company?
There has been interest in WWE of trying to get a foothold in the major independents. So, I mean, this is just another step in doing so. Yeah, man, whole thing sucks.
Whole thing does suck. I'm completely with you. Partnership good, or collaboration good, collection bad. Don't make it a part of a collection. Collaborate. But unfortunately, even like
TNA, how can we forget TNA?
Right. And so, and that was kind of like, again, this is devil's advocate thinking, right? But in a certain degree, WWE is damned if they do, damned if they don't, right? They're in a partnership with TNA, yet people give them all the crap for the partnership with TNA because it's not a partnership with WWE and TNA, it's with NXT and TNA. But WWE likes to, depending on what day of the week it is and what side of their hand they're looking at, NXT is anywhere from being the second biggest brand to the fourth biggest brand in wrestling. And then TNA is the third to the fifth. And so, but there's a partnership with TNA and WWE gets raked over the coals for it. WWE buys AAA, or TKO buys AAA. WWE gets raked over the coals of it. And I get it. WWE does not have a lot of, the WWE brand does not have a lot of positive social equity right now. They don't get there's very little benefit of the doubt when, like, you look through the long history of WWE firing people in the middle of a pandemic, literally gutting an entire roster for no reason, and that's just a small business decision, right? You talk about the Saudi deal. You talk about the cannibalization of the indies, the cannibalization of British pro wrestling. Now we're dipping into Mexico.
Sounds of freedom.
Sounds of freedom. God bless them. Salute. But Kenny, yeah, absolutely. Long story short, no me gusta. Do not like the AAA acquisition. The one positive I have from the week, though, AAA has fired Alberto El Patron, their mega champion. So we don't have to worry about notable bad person Alberto Del Rio in this at all so far. Unless he got let go from his AAA contract to become a WWE superstar. And if that's the case, I'm gonna Tommy Dreamer something. I'm gonna dream on, Daddy. Which this voicemail, so I play the voicemails in the order in which they are received. Isn't it ironic that we get Kenny's voicemail right before we get this one?
Hello, Tim. Hello, Marcus. It's Ed. I'm going to make everybody real uncomfortable for a bit. Get real political. I called into At Odds and asked them. I'm going to ask you guys the same thing because you guys, talk about WWE more than most podcasts I listen to. So I'm just curious. I'm not shaming anyone. I'm just curious. So last week, Donald Trump opened up concentration camps in El Salvador, and he put legal citizens in them, and the Supreme Court said you cannot do that. And he has told them he's going to fucking do it anyway. Also, the White House website for COVID has said that it is a China-made virus in a lab, and Dr. Fauci is a criminal for helping release it. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has shut down a suicide hotline for LGBTQ youth and is using private medical data to make a database of every American with autism. They're doing Nazi shit. They're telling you they're Nazis. And I believe them. So, the same week most of this happened, Triple H, the man booking the shows, tells you, I really like the people doing this Nazi shit. Roman Reigns tells you he also really likes the people doing the Nazi shit. They feel comfortable enough saying this. So Paul Heyman goes on ESPN and makes jokes about Mexicans being deported because he feels comfortable enough to do it, Sami Zayn wears a hoodie with a watermelon on it, if you know, you know. And gets so much heat internally, you would believe, that is now deleted. He's deleted the picture. That's deliberate. You can give Sami Zayn shit. Say he's a coward for it. I think he is too. But the point is, those three men earlier feel comfortable enough backing the Nazis in that company that they do it. And Sami Zayn is job scared about not doing that. At Tony Hinchcliffe roast, he said, I'm not going to make fun of black people, and the crowd boos him. So I'm just curious, with all this information, just curious, not judging, very much wonder, what would it take for you guys to just hand wave all of this shit and never watch them or give them money again? Because I think everybody's got a line, right? I'm just curious what your guys' would be. Okay, bye.
Boy, he my dog spot, my liver spot, my spot, put on the spot by Ed. I had a sneaking suspicion this was going to be the voicemail from Ed, especially after listening to At Odds this week. So do you want me to tackle it first? Do you want to try to put your arms around it?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. Wrestling is an inherently evil business, whether you are a fan or whether you are in the business itself. It is inherently evil. How evil you want to let it be is totally up to you, but it is inherently evil. From the inner workings of the business to who the business preys upon to how the money is distributed to who they get money from, the targeting that happens, all of it. Wrestling is inherently evil. So if you're going to consume wrestling, whether it's on the independents, whether it's WWE, whatever, from the lowest level to the highest level, there are many layers of evil in even the most conscientious of companies. It's inherently evil, and that's just wrestling. Now, what would it take in order for me to stop watching WWE entirely? I don't know, but I feel like I'd know it when I see it. Now, all that stuff has made me stop watching the weekly TV. Like, I'll check out clips to like stay up to date. But like, do I put on Raw anymore when it's Monday night and Raw's on? No, I don't want to see Tony Hinchcliffe or Andrew Schultz or whatever loser celebrity they're trotting out for the week. I don't want to see it. Same thing for trying to find SmackDown. Whatever. I'm just not interested in it. As far as like why not totally with Stain, not to like pull out a card, but like I'm black. So for me to exist in this country, like ever since I was a little kid, there's a whole lot that I have to be okay with and dance around and swallow and put up with just to exist and just to have a baseline level of enjoyment of things in my life and not have them taken away. So I guess wrestling, again, on any scale, is one of those things. And I just, no, I don't agree with that. I don't like that. But there is a level of, if you want to say giving up, if you want to say acceptance of the evil without complying or agreeing with it, but also it's there. What am I going to do about it? That's my worldview. That's my experience. I feel like the actual protesting, the actual group of people who would be listened to get change done, is the people who look like the majority of the country and people who have the majority of the money and the time to put into these things. So it's your higher class people, it's your middle class people, it's your sponsors. Not to say, oh, I'm just a little guy, what can I do? But that goes with just about anything in this country. And it sucks. There's plenty I don't like in this country, and this isn't to hand wave it and say it's not. I'm not consistent with one thing, so I would be consistent with the other thing. But like, this country is horrible. Some good. I guess there's a lot of good. There's a lot of bad. Done a lot of evil. And I benefit from that evil by nature of being here. We all do. So whole thing sucks and I hate it. I guess the not so serious answer is just like all of the more recent Trump flag waving that WWE has done. It has made me not want to go. Like, I've been looking for a reason to go to Vegas. I've never been. WrestleMania would have been a perfect reason to go. The independent shows in the area would have been a perfect reason to go. Nope, not interested. SummerSlam is in New Jersey. I love SummerSlam. New Jersey's not but a couple hours away. I have no plans on going. Not interested in going. No, there's Raw will come to the area. Raw or SmackDown will come, twice a year, plus a house show, so 3 times a year. Not interested. It's just like I'm not interested in going and being a part of that experience right now. With how open they have been with their flag waving and political interests. So, yeah, man, that's what I got.
Yeah, I think you and we were texting back and forth about this because we heard it on At Odds. So we kind of had the Iggy a little bit. And the conversation we loosely had was ethical consumption versus conscientious consumption, where ethical consumption is like the extreme and conscientious consumption is like, I understand what's going on and I can pick and choose and can kind of like, it's not, things like this aren't to all people black and white. Just like politics in a way isn't black and white, right? Now, sometimes in a lot of things, the shades of gray are easier to pick out as being black or white. But sometimes gray is just gray, right? And none of us can really speak for like the true heart of a lot of people. And this isn't me this is not me trying to find a way or rationalize people's decisions, right? Because obviously, when a person shows you who they are, you should believe them. Point blank, period. However, there are probably a lot of supporters of the current president who supported him under false pretenses, or they supported him for reasons. The reasons they supported him, probably economic reasons, and they hand waved the social reasons, which the social reasons are why a lot of us are upset. That people would be more interested in following the almighty dollar and getting a leg up. And what does it matter? I'm making money hand over fist. Who cares about that gay person, that trans person, that immigrant? Who cares about that homeless person, that veteran? They're whatever. And that's kind of going to talking about with like wrestling being inherently evil. Power in general is inherently evil. And, you know, not to stealing from the old cult life, the love of money is the root of all evil. And where we're at now is there's a lot of people who have a love for money. And that leads to evil deeds in a way. Not saying having a lot of money is the root of all evil. That's not the case. There are tons of people who make money hand over fist, but they're philanthropic. They give back to communities. They find a way to utilize their wealth in a way that can help grow things to be better. But unfortunately, what we hear is the megalomaniacal million, billion trillionaires who are making phallic-shaped rockets, sending them into the sky, self-landing, or people who are one of my favorite things right now is the budding war between Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. Because now Jeff Bezos is in the electric car business, going directly at Elon. But in any case, like, not everyone who you would pencil as being one of the bad guys is wholly bad. Just like not everyone who you would pencil in as a good guy is wholly good. And that's kind of along the same lines of like our consumption, right? I don't necessarily watch the WWE as crazy as most people would suspect, right? I watch it more on, and this is going to sound stupid because I'm just a guy doing a podcast, but it's like, it's the journalistic part of it. It's like, how can I speak about it intelligently? The content, not the overarching stuff, but it's like watching a television show or trying to talk about a television show you've never watched. Even if the worst person in the world put that show together, watching it, you cannot talk about it reliably unless you actually watch it. And I think that for a lot of people who cover or talk about wrestling, that there's a lot of people who have a preconceived notion and then ride with it, and then they just say the whole thing sucks. Like a lot of people who say AEW sucks. AEW doesn't suck. The reason why they say it sucks is because the last time they actually sat down and gave it a chance was probably when AEW sucked. but it doesn't anymore. But the last thing you saw did. And I want to give kudos to like DJ. Like, yes, he was like a bachelor over the weekend, but like he sat down with an open heart and open mind and was like, I'm going to watch WrestleMania. And he got exactly what all of us got. And his experience with it as a person who does not actively follow the WWE product is the exact same as people like Dave LaGreca, people who are dyed in the wool, unless you're a part of the company. Those dyed in the wool are just absolutely just atrocious. They just find it as atrocious. How is this called WrestleMania? Right. And so what would it take for me to hand wave it? It's tough. And a lot of it is nostalgic reasons, right? Like,
one of the question was, what would it take for you to be done with it?
Yeah. The hand wave it all. I mean, like, I'm done. It's all gone.
Gotcha.
Right. It's part of it's nostalgia, right? Like, I was a WCW kid too, just like DJ. And like during the Monday Night Wars, Nitro was the show to watch until it got to a certain point when Nitro just sucked and Raw was better. And until like 1999, 2000, I think probably 2000, it was a WWF house and WCW was the back burner. But I still watched Nitro. It would probably take a lot, not a lot, but kind of like what Marcus said. I can't say it for sure. Like I can't put an identifier on it, but like an adage me and Marcus say is like, I don't need to know the devil to know that he's bad. Right. So like, I don't have to meet the devil to know it's bad, but when I see it, I'm going to know it. And so far, a lot of it for me has been disappointment. I'm disappointed that the leadership of the brand that I've followed this entire time is on my wrong side of history. But that doesn't change. I've built this like firewall rationalization that like, the leadership's the leadership and the content's the content and the people doing it. I'm supporting the people who are wrestling, not the company that's doing it, which you can count for like the independent wrestling side. But when you talk about big box wrestling, WWE's, AEW's, there is a bigger, the waters get muddied and supporting a wrestler is actually supporting the company.
And that's almost like a two Americas situation, because yours is disappointment and mine is, well, that's what I expected.
Right. It's like
I expect WWE to be in bed with those politics and support those policies. I expect other big businesses to align with that. If, say, a Costco, which I think is a Canadian company anyways, like let's say a Costco who's known for treating its workers well and stuff like that and having somewhat affordable prices, shout out the $1.50 hot dog or whatever, if they did a 180, that would hit differently. There would be disappointment there. There would be maybe more protest because I expected better. But with WWE, no. I've got 50, 60 years of information to tell me otherwise. So, yeah, I expect it from them.
And also,
yeah,
too,
and I
though,
wish...
Good.
I wish I could say that my end button, my end point, was going to be Trump showing up or being introduced or whatever. But he's been to the World Series. I still watch baseball. He's been to the Super Bowl. Still watch football. President of the country. I still live here. So I don't think that would be it either. I don't know what it's going to be.
Right. And like your analogy, your analogy to Costco is kind of the same thing too. Cause right, like say Costco does get into bed and they change their viewpoint and they saddle up with what's going on. But if they're offering the same services as before and nothing inside the store really changes, maybe a couple of things here and there that you can kind of hand wave, but the soda and a hot dog is still $1.50 and I can buy 50 pounds of dog food for $12. Like if a lot of that stayed the same, how many people would still shop at Costco in spite of the politics? Look at other brands, McDonald's still like they're still on the hit list of being just a morally incorrect big box brand or big name brand, yet it is still probably top 3 fast food restaurant in the United States and global, I would dare say. And like for you and me, we don't eat at McDonald's that much anymore, especially the more that like stuff comes, like obviously like eating healthier is one thing, but like the politics of McDonald's doesn't stop people from eating at McDonald's. The politics of Chick-fil-A maybe like pauses how often you go, but people still go for the Lord's chicken. And there's so many other assets or so many other like decisions we have to make as people to like, what is our line? And it is very tough. It's tough, like, especially with like pop culture, right? Like I'm speaking directly to you, Ed, but like Russell Brand, Kanye West, your K-pop, all of that stuff. At a certain point, like you look at all of the stuff that you like. For me, Diddy, I love Bad Boy Records. I love Bad Boy as a kid, like living in or coming of age in the 90s. Your entire soundtrack was Biggie, Puff, Mace, The Lox, all of them, right? But now I can't do that anymore because Diddy showed himself to be who he was. R. Kelly, the music is scandal proof. The man is scandalous. Kanye West, the same way. The music is scandal proof. It took him coming out and saying he is a Nazi and like actively bashing the Jewish nation for me to kind of swear him off. And even then, in moments of weakness, I pull up my feel good Kanye West songs and I listen to that before the brain worms really set in. You look at sports. Kyrie Irving goes out and supports anti-Semitism in a way. He walks it back, but what he said, I bet there's a part of him that still feels what he felt when he was promoting the book about how black people are the real Jews. And like, there is something for everything, right? There, where is the line of demarcation for each person? And that's kind of what makes it, again, a shade of gray, right? But Nat, I think both of us can agree we're absolutely displeased with where WWE is right now, socially, politically. It's weird too, because like I'm happy that they're financially successful, but because they're financially successful, they can double down on the bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can be bad and make a shit ton of money. Sorry, family friendly. And like, you can do that. And like, I don't really buy WWE merch, really. I bought the WWE video game, but like that's how much of that is supporting WWE and how much of that is supporting the game creator. Like, again, it's different masters, different things, and it's weird. But Ed, your question is absolutely valid. It's tough. It's a pill to swallow. It's something Marcus and I revisit often in private channels, right? But we absolutely appreciate your viewpoint. We appreciate your listenership, and I hope in a roundabout way we answered the question as best as we could. But whole thing sucks, man. We hate being in this position where we have to find ways to mentally contort through everything.
Yeah, I think that's part of my answer too. It's like, why do the people that are going to be historically and in the moment correct, why do we always have to give up and do without? And there's like a level to that. I mean, not a stubbornness, just kind of like it's exhausting. It is exhausting. And again, going back to like ethical consumption versus conscientious consumption, it is exhausting. And yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know what it's going to be. It'll be something, but I don't know what it's going to be.
Right.
But
yeah. It's tough. It's hard to say. We can probably encapsulate it into like one phrase, and it's old habits die hard. And WWE has just been the thing that we have known and loved for over 30 plus years. The both of us.
Not to like bring it back to like the business, but like we've said, especially since like WrestleMania 38, like when WWE is good, it's the best for a lot of people across a wide age range. When WWE is good, it's the best. WrestleMania was not good. A lot of the follow-up, I don't think is good. They're still going to have the box office success. That's not going to taper off for another year or two. They're still going to have all the pop culture success. That's not going to hit immediately. But when the business, specifically WWE, starts to cool down, is that going to make it easier? I would think for me, yes, because I didn't watch hardly any WWE in like 2020, 2021, because AEW was awesome. I had that as a wrestling alternative. Yeah, I know there's other wrestling out there. I'm talking about your big box office wrestling. Turn on the TV and there's wrestling. Yeah, AEW made that a lot easier. So right now, it's kind of been best of both worlds. There's been some good stuff in WWE or some stuff that I find enjoyable to kind of pick out and watch. And then there's been like the majority of AEW to supplement the rest. So, yeah. I don't know if that really helped or answered. I guess, yeah, my answer is I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what that is because so far, bigger scale, macro, it's been nothing to make me leave the country. So I don't know what it's going to be to make me give up WWE/WWF/Titan Sports. I have no idea.
Right. It's tough, man. Hard. Why? When did growing up become a business, right? Like, it sucks. But Ed, thank you for the call. Please continue to challenge us with questions like this because there's definitely a place for it, right? It's very easily can be lost in the weeds. And we definitely need people asking questions and just putting it in their faces. Like, and it's not just us that has this like trouble of conscience too. It's a ton of people, right? There's probably more WWE fans than you can think of that are also like, what the F are we doing? And each of us are having to come to our own conclusion and in figuring it out, right? It's along the lines of, you'll appreciate this too. And I promise we're going to move off of this point soon, but it's like, it's convictions when you're super religious, right? It's stuff that isn't the cut and dried thou shalt nots that because of my convictions I don't do. The convictions vary, right? And you can accept, believe, and choose that the people that are saddled up are in the wrong, but the content they make is independent of that. And that could be where it is, right? So again, thank you, Ed. Appreciate you, love you. Thank you for this question. And I hope we did at least some justice and we didn't like bore the pants off of everybody else. But moving along is the lifestyle.
Timothy and Marcus. This is Brett. Just chiming in real quick. I just watched the main event from SmackDown. I watched it with my nephews. They were losing their minds. How was that not on WrestleMania? Like, for real? What are we doing here? That was pretty incredible. So I'm curious of your opinions. Do you think it was better that it was in an arena like Dallas? Or do you think that 100% should have been on WrestleMania instead of the New Day versus the War Prophets, War Raiders, War Hungry? I can't remember their name right now. Viking Raiders, whatever they are. Yeah, that was sick. Kudos to those guys. Angelo Dawkins, like, very good. All three teams killed it, though. And that was fun. I haven't seen a match like that in a while, like, on that stage of Friday Night SmackDown. What a shame. That's disgusting. Aleister Black butchered his kick real bad. That was real bad. Goodbye.
Thank you for the call. I am going to hand wave the Aleister Black comment because that's just as much spacing as anything else. And Miz kind of bum rushed him. So it was a little.
Miz is not the person I would have had to take a
first
strike.
Kick. Yeah. King of Safe Style getting kicked in the face. Pick the wrong dude.
There's a reason why Mike the Miz has never lost.
Right. You know, the one time he got kicked in the face for real was Kofi Kingston. And he lost a tooth. Okay. Like he ain't here to get hit for real. So kudos to Mike for dodging a bullet, but also, come on, man. You're going to mess up Al Black like that in his return with the devil music?
That's a plus.
We're back to worshiping the devil? Yeah,
That's
baby. That is a plus. Didn't get Def Rebelled yet. There's a big yet. I remember when we got Lobster Head from Sheamus for like a week, and then there was just enough time to go back to the crappy Sheamus theme.
It was jingling the keys, man. They distract you.
The triple threat ladder match. In ring should have been on the pay-per-view. But I can understand where WWE is hand shy. Because watching a Motor City Machine Guns match is different than watching the Motor City Machine Guns. If you watch their entrance, no one cares. Crickets. Go back to, what was the WWE pay-per-view? Was it Royal Rumble? Machine Guns DIY, 2 out of 3 falls. It's a WWE pay-per-view in a big arena in Indianapolis. There's absolutely people there who know who the Motor City Machine Guns are. That entrance was quiet. DIY doesn't get the same reactions they used to. The Street Profits don't get the same reactions they used to. So there's probably a part of the WWE brain trust. It's like people really boo the New Day and people really cheer the War Raiders. Put them on WrestleMania. People don't cheer the Machine Guns. People don't boo DIY, and people don't know what to do with the Street Profits. Put them on SmackDown. It's also just the disrespect of tag team wrestling in WWE in general and wrestling as a whole. Because AEW is not necessarily immune to that either. But I mean, they're definitely better than WWE in forms of tag team wrestling. But it's still not great or good. So my biggest thing was kudos to the amputee throwing his leg to Montez to use as a weapon. Big. Anytime we can get prosthetic use as a weapon in wrestling, I'm always here for it. Especially if the amputee is a willing participant. Like don't Mad Dog Vachon it and steal some dude's leg. But if they're holding it, like, yo, hit him with these. And man, that prosthetic had an Adidas Samba on it. Made me feel like I was in high school with those shoes. So yeah, man, the tag match, the match itself should have absolutely been on WrestleMania. It would have absolutely been a highlight. But gun-shy WWE didn't know what to do with them. So we put them on SmackDown to increase it. Same thing with Chelsea Green losing the U.S. title this week. Chelsea Green's doing some of the best work of any woman in the WWE. And how do you repay her? You take the U.S. title off of her and give it to Zelina Vega, who she's probably getting her title run for services previously rendered. WWE's done this in the past before. Maybe not as good as you once was, but you've done quality work. Here you go. Let's see what you can do with it, kid. Right? What do you bet? What's your thoughts on the triple threat and where it should have been in regards to Mania or nah?
In-ring action should have been on WrestleMania, but the acts weren't over enough. And that is mostly on WWE. WWE doesn't care about tag team wrestling. And that's kind of that. I think there is if they weren't so comfortable putting out weeks and months worth of unwatchable television, specifically SmackDown, there is an argument to be made of, well, we have a show on Friday too that needs something. I can see that argument. And if you're going to make it big and you're going to run out or going to sell out these buildings, I get it. And I wouldn't disagree with it, but they are so comfortable putting weeks and months together where SmackDown is not interesting. I don't see a single clip from it. There's nothing anybody's talking about Friday night or Saturday morning. It's just disinteresting. The whole thing sucks. And going to Chelsea losing the U.S. title, like, really bad decision. And I know a big talking point this year more than other years. And I think it's because WWE has put such an emphasis on WrestleMania's prom. And it's hard to believe that certain acts don't have a date for prom and aren't going to prom. And Chelsea Green was a standout. She absolutely, like, if I'm going to WrestleMania, I want to see Chelsea Green because she's entertaining. Whether it's a match, whether it's a segment, whether it's an interview, a moment, I want to see Chelsea Green. They put her on SmackDown. She loses the U.S. title to Zelina. Okay. All I have seen is Chelsea Green doing her own online angles following that. And it's interesting and it's awesome and it's entertaining. And Chelsea is the master. I don't think there's anybody doing it better. Whether you give her a win, you give her a loss, you give her 5 seconds, you give her 5 minutes. Nobody maximizes their minutes, in wrestling like Chelsea Green.
Huge plus minus on Chelsea, like for the sports fans out there. Like her WAR score is off the charts, very high. She's definitely a glue person in regards to things. And who's to say, like, this could be a very transitional feel good title change, and then Chelsea gets it back at Backlash, or another throwaway episode of SmackDown that nobody's going to watch. But in either event, right? You also have to think too, we're probably coming up close to being in the market for a WWE draft, even though we literally just did a superstar shakeup or whatever it was, the window, the transfer window.
Yeah.
I think we're due for a draft probably coming up soon. So getting the title off of Chelsea may be a symbol to go over to Raw. Because she's kind of a Raw act, which makes sense.
I think we're at least another year before we switch over what titles are on what brands. I think we have one more year before they do that.
Right.
Where, hey, all the world titles are now on SmackDown and all the WWE-ish titles on Raw.
Yeah.
Undoing that whole rewiring that they do.
Mm-hmm. I think I know exactly the time and date that's going to take place. I think it's going to surround an event that a lot of people used to watch that aren't going to watch because it's in a place that nobody really wants to talk about. And I think it's going to come off the heels of the John Cena retirement angle. Because if I'm prognosticating a little bit, I think John Cena leaves. I think by the end of it all, John Cena actually leaves with the title. Because I don't think WWE can resist giving the Saudis a Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. It's too clean, right? Like, and hopefully they're in their mind, they're like, there's a lot of people who won't watch because in Saudi Arabia, but if we put it for the WWE title, more people will watch. That's just me. That's literally me fantasy booking the Royal Rumble a week after WrestleMania. Okay. But I'm convinced of it and my mind won't change until they show me that it's wrong. But yeah, thank you, Brett. You're absolutely right. Last up, first time caller.
Hello, boys. It's the $100 Vansky, the draft show king, the Michael Jordan of Azrael figure collecting, and the star of At Odds with Wrestling. I just wanted to call and congratulate you guys on 300 episodes and the successful launch of the Patreon. Keep up the good work, and good luck with the opportunity business. Anyways, I do have a question for both of you. Recently, I watched our once and forever holder of the prestigious NXT Heritage Cup, Lexis King, go toe-to-toe with Ricky Saints in a promo, and it made me realize that Ricky's kind of lost all of his aura in my eyes, as the kids say. And I think it all started back when he had that back and forth with Cope, Tim's favorite wrestler, where Cope called Ricky Pebble, and Ricky rarely never recovered from that. And more recently, we had MVP going toe-to-toe with Big Bill in the promo, and MVP really dominated Big Bill, kind of left Big Bill looking silly, and we were all like, oh man, that's so cool, look at how MVP really crushed Big Bill. And it led me to think, is there a responsibility, or should there be a responsibility, of wrestlers cutting promos to take care of the person that they're cutting a promo against? Kind of like in the ring, like you don't want to hurt the person you're wrestling, you have a responsibility to make sure they're safe. In a promo, is there some type of responsibility like that? Like, wouldn't you want to come out of a promo with the babyface looking strong and the heel looking strong to lead to like a better match, a better draw? So why do we always celebrate when somebody gets one over on somebody in a promo? I look forward to your answer. I will take it on the podcast. Love you, love the show, and talk to you soon.
Thank you, Vansky. I don't know what you're talking about. Draft show king, the crown. The crown's with Joe. The crown's with me. Who knows? But in either event, to answer your question pretty succinctly, I'm always taken back to, I think it was Dusty that said it. But like, if you're cutting a promo against somebody, like if I'm in a program with you and I cut a promo and I say, you suck, you're the worst wrestler I've ever seen in my life, blah, 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 and I cut you down all the way, who cares? If I beat you, I was supposed to beat you because you suck and you're the worst. And if I lose, well, you just lost to the worst dude in the history of wrestling. So who does that help at all? Right? I've always heard like promos are like matches where there is a little bit of give and take. But I think for like fans, we think that if any time somebody gets over, like really like belittles or gets over on another guy, they're shooting, brother, bang, bang, because we want to be inside as best we can, right? Or poof, poof. We want to be inside as most we can, and seeing these promos where people say things off the cuff, it gives us as fans what we perceive as somebody leaving the back door open, and we're let into the real world of wrestling, right? But Marcus, your thoughts?
I agree with all that. I think there's also an element of like burn culture to follow up surprise culture, probably dating back to like the mid 2000s, where like the internet is starting to explode and we're starting to find out more about the backstage stuff more quickly or quicker. And again, we feel like we're in the know, but it also goes hand in hand with like what we were seeing on TV with like our comedians and like Yo Mama and Wild 'N Out. A lot of the entertainment at the time was kind of pushed in that direction of like
roast culture,
roast, belittlement. Like that's what we wanted to see. That's what we reacted to. So like we all kind of helped push it in that direction. You know, on the other side of it, wrestling, like matches stop being about like who's winning or losing for like personal pride or for championships or for money or for a personal reason, whatever. Like anytime anybody lost, it was always, oh, it's an embarrassment. Any loss is always an embarrassment. Both companies, any company, TNA, WWE, AEW, too many times, oh, somebody lost, embarrassment. And so I think that kind of goes to like the promo too, where you're looking to embarrass the other person, because that's what a match is boiled down to. You're looking to embarrass the other person by winning and them losing. So I kind of think promos have followed suit, unfortunately. Not everybody. There's still some greats doing it. But like anytime you got people going back and forth in the ring, like I think the purpose should be to create tension. If you create that tension, you create that conflict. Sometimes it leads to a physical altercation right there. Sometimes that's delayed. Sometimes it's later in the night. Whatever. But you want to build to that. I think going out there and calling somebody a pebble or whatever, and it's like
vanilla midget,
but you know, that guy's like 6'2", 6'3", and tan and jacked and black and over. I thought that totally reeked of desperation. Yeah, man. I don't like that Ricky Starks is kind of, I don't know. He's definitely not the same that he was, which wasn't to be expected because he's not in the same place and he's not running the same playbook. I still think the talent will overcome that, but it might take him a while. He might have to get lost in the wilderness for a year or two before he finds himself. I think he's a super talented dude, and your expectations of him or what you would be satisfied by might differ. But I think he's a great entertainer. I think he's a great wrestler, and I believe that he will eventually recover. I think the talent's too good not to. But yeah, great question, Adam. I wish more promos were Eddie Kingston style.
Yeah.
That's how I like my wrestling, but I also recognize that I guess I'm an old, and a lot of people like sick burns with no payoff. Just, instant gratification. Oh, that was shocking. Oh, that was a sick burn. Oh, reference something I saw or heard. And then that's the end of it. And nobody's better off for it, in my opinion.
Right. Couldn't agree more. Appreciate all the calls. And if you ever want to call the voicemail, 757-354-3070 is the number to dial. You can text us too. Text messages are also open for that. Email us, finalwrestlingplace@gmail.com. If you want to send us the super secret non-voicemail line stuff like Adam sends, no problem indeed. We'd love to hear from you. We don't care how we hear from you, just that we do. Boy, we've covered a lot in just a little bit of time. But we do we want to snip up a little bit and tighten it up, or do we want to go through what we were going to go through?
Like, we could just, I think, let's skip through WWE. We've done a lot of talking about WWE. A lot of stinky doo-doo.
The one thing I do want to bring up, and it's kind of the elephant in the room right now with where WWE is right now. It's the thumbnail for the podcast, but in the year of our Lord 2025, we're getting John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE title.
The Viper.
We're running it back, baby. We're playing the hits. And I thought Randy's promo to John on SmackDown, I thought was pretty good. Where Randy was like, I would have never thought in a million years we'd be face to face from each other, and I'm the good guy and you're the bad guy. And that's like a part of the dynamic that is kind of missed on people. I don't think this match is going to be anywhere. I think a lot of people who are saying that this match is like they're moaning and groaning about this match is a little bad faith, because this Randy Orton isn't the same as the other Randy Orton, and this Cena isn't the same as last Cena. For good or for bad. For Cena, at least. At least Cena's giving us something different other than being Super Cena at the time. And Orton is an ox. So, yeah. Looking forward to it. But, yeah, man, I am intrigued to see how like the John Cena farewell retirement tour goes. Because even the promo on Monday, I thought it was really interesting where Cena was like, when I started everything, I said 30-something dates. That's not matches. That's appearances. And then he starts counting them off. It's like 3 overseas, the SmackDown before Mania,
right.
WrestleMania, tonight, we're down to 27 appearances.
Right, like a teacher counting the days of school left.
Yes, that's exactly what my thought was. John Cena has senioritis.
Mm-hmm.
He is in his locker. He has a peel away calendar of the number of days left until school's out. And him displaying it, I think it's creative, but also it's a shot clock. And like, it may not mean something now when there's 26 dates, but let's get to the end of the year and we're in single digits. And you build that. It's the in like video games, it's building a sense of terror without being in a position where you're being at you feel actual fear. It's like the old Sonic the Hedgehog video game when you're underwater and like then eventually
Gotcha.
the dun, 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 like you are safe. You are playing a video game, but you have anxiety because this music is da 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 da, and that's the countdown clock of Cena's dates. Especially if you're a fan, right? If you're fully invested in it and you don't want the title to leave, as that clock runs to zero, does the clock run out and does Cena win? And like I'm getting more and more interested in like Cena's rationale of like, I'm taking the title, and when I do, now there is a logic flaw in his wording, because he was like, I take the title with me and your clock stops. And in my head, I'm like, there's a world heavyweight championship that counts. Those title wins count the same as this one.
Right.
You're not a 17-time WWE champion. You're a 17-time world champion in WWE. So even if that title leaves, we can roll out the Universal title again and start counting winners. Or the world heavyweight title and start counting winners. Or we can count the speed title as a world title, and that counts. But when you don't think too much into it, yeah.
Just acknowledge their own history, which they are. But if he's doing a Summer of Punk-ish stretched across 27 dates, 26 dates, they've said and showed you that they'll just create a new one with the same name, like,
and Cena one of those will win title wins.
Right, one of those title wins was Punk being gone post Money in the Bank, and then being like, "Oh well, we can't have WWE without a WWE champion. Here's a WWE title tournament." So, I don't know. It's probably, maybe it's cooler if you are a newer fan and you don't have this knowledge. But also, I don't know. I think people are just probably like, "Oh, John Cena's a bad guy. This is interesting." Jingle, jingle, jingle. Right. But I am looking forward to him and Orton. I'm interested in what this match is going to look like. Orton is a different person physically, as you said.
And mentally, too.
Yeah.
Orton's in a much better place than he was when he was fighting, because the last time they wrestled was pre-Kim.
And I just went back along with you and Justin over on WWE War and watched Orton versus Big Show from, like, I think an Extreme Rules or something, or Payback, maybe one of those shows. And it was in St. Louis. And Orton wrestles such a great match. I think it's Extreme Rules. But, like, he actually plays a really good hometown babyface. I'm really looking forward to how he plays it in however many weeks against Cena.
Yeah. Backlash happens before Double or Nothing. I think Backlash is like May 10th-ish.
Okay.
So we definitely have a WWE pay-per-view before we have another AEW pay-per-view. But perfect segue into AEW. Man, what? How do they keep killing it? That's my question.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about, like, how long has the stretch been, and for you, it's gone back a little bit further. For me,
right?
You know, it's a little bit after the Maximum Carnage shows. The only thing I didn't really like about that was the outcome of the main event and the booking, but, like, even I think Maximum Carnage as a whole was mostly good. So, like, when was that? Late January, early February. Like, AEW has been great every week. The collisions have gotten better. Dynamite, we didn't talk about it last week because we were talking about WrestleMania, but that Dynamite last week or 2 weeks ago might be the greatest episode of Dynamite that they've done.
I wouldn't put it I would put it up there with the Brody episode.
Sure.
Brody Dynamite was good. Or was like all time. This one is all time.
The Inner Circle Blood and Guts Dynamite was really good.
That was during the pandemic, though, right?
No, not Inner Circle, the Appreciation Society Blood and Guts with Daddy Magic and.
But that was at Daly's place.
No, that one was maybe New Jersey.
But the Daly's place one was the Pinnacle one, I think.
That was
that
the Pinnacle one.
Jericho taking the big splashy in the cardboard.
No, talking about that one. No, the Appreciation Society versus I think the Elite. That was that was a good Dynamite. Either way, I think a top 5 Dynamite, like amazing episode of TV. And then follow it up this week. It's not a top 5 episode, but a great episodic, coherent 2 hours, 2+ hours of television. And it just gets you more excited for the next week. And like, I can't wait for Ospreay and Hangman. Or not Ospreay and Hangman, excuse me. Fletcher and Hangman.
Yeah, that's going to bang.
And that's a match, if you would have told me back in early December, I'd be like, Fletcher's going to lose because he always loses. And Hangman's going to have a good match with him because Hangman always has good matches. And they'll probably drop the ball with Hangman afterwards. And like, we're just a couple months away from that. And it's like, whoa, this is an intriguing, captivating matchup. I don't know which way it's going to go. I like have a fan favorite, an actual fan favorite. Like, I hope Hangman wins as a fan. I have that level of investment. But like, if Kyle Fletcher wins, it's like, okay, he's a bad guy and he's a really good bad guy. I'm okay with it. Like, I'm just excited to be a fan, like, in that respect. Like, I have no clue. I think it's going to be Hangman, but like, whatever the outcome, like, I'm just happy. It's going to be dope. And the match is going to be sick.
Right.
The all-star 8-man tag. I don't care for everybody, but I know the match is going to be good. Like, I'm looking forward to that. And whatever else they fill out the show with. The MJF Hurt Syndicate stuff has been some of my favorite television of the year. I've really liked all that. I have no clue how it's going to shake out. I don't know where this angle tops out. I don't know how quickly MJF shows his true colors. I don't know how quickly the Hurt Syndicate jump him out. I don't know if this ends with FTR and Stokely and MJF all together in a group, which is now what I'm hoping for. And if they have anybody else join them, that would be sick. But yeah, man, AEW has been cooking, as the kids would say. It's been really good. Building to Mox and Samoa Joe, that'll be a big TV match. You know,
even the stuff with like FTR right now.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The beatdown angle on the rock and rolls. All good, man. Like, it's legit. So I don't want to like use this as like, this is the reason why for AEW, right? But I think what helps the numbers or the perception of AEW go up is if MJF is in a good place. If we're getting good MJF, then AEW TV is up.
Because MJF, whether it's MJF or it's somebody in the MJF role, but for now that's MJF in the MJF role, that person / commands / is given a lot of TV time. And what they do either pull something up and makes it a bigger deal. Like just a couple months ago, the tag titles were like, eh. And now this tag title thing, for me, it's like a 1B storyline. Or you can really sink something. And whatever you're doing,
the devil,
whether it's on top or not, it's getting top time. And it can really drag down a show. So right now, everything's good.
Yeah, I mean, the Hurt Syndicate stuff is hitting. I love how their store, like, what's making AEW click right now is along the same lines of what made WWE click a little bit during the Attitude Era, with interconnected stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like MJF has this thing going on with the Hurt Syndicate, but he also has this thing with Hangman Page.
Right.
Hangman Page has the Owen tournament going on. Plus he's got beef with the Death Riders right now. And he's always got a perpetual beef with Swerve. Swerve's got, and the Young Bucks now, like what's the deal with that? Is he with or without the Young Bucks? Same thing with like Kenny Omega, right? Kenny's now going after the Death Riders, and he's going after that, but he's got Okada in the mirror as well. And so the more intertwined you can have people, like it doesn't have to be like with WWE, for example. It is not always an A to B straight line connection.
Right.
You can have a person pinned off into multiple places, right? Where, and that's kind of, I don't want to like, I'm going to get Kenny right here, but I feel like with one of AEW's biggest stars, Will Ospreay, he has been singularly focused. Most everything Will Ospreay has done has revolved around the Callis family.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that that's where the Owen has taken us, right? The Owen has leaned upon Ospreay versus the Callis family as well, even though we've already gone through that for multiple months on television.
Yeah.
It just so happens that the two top dudes in the Callis family are two of the top wrestlers in the entire world right now, right? So why not? You're not going to hear me complain about seeing Ospreay Takeshita on TV with limited commercial interruptions. No problem. You're not going to hear me complain if we get Ospreay Fletcher 3 at Double or Nothing. Because that match is going to slap.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are owed a rubber match. But in my heart of hearts, do I want to see the Hangman versus the Aerial Assassin? Absolutely. That's what I want. That's what my heart wants more than anything. Because that's what AEW is predicated on. The tagline is, where the best wrestle. It's all elite wrestling. It's not all okay wrestling. It's the best of the best of the best in the ring doing it. And you're hard pressed to find two dudes in late April 2025 that are doing it on a level like Will Ospreay and Adam Page, especially on AEW television. You probably count them on one hand. And I named the other two, Takeshita and Fletcher, and the fifth dude, Swerve. Top 5 dudes. And that's not even counting any of the women. Mercedes is getting up there. Mercedes is working her way into our good graces somehow, some way. Don't know how. Oh, don't poo-poo that. Don't lie, Craig. You ain't got to lie, Craig.
Not so fast. Not so fast. No, she has been better.
Okay. So
she has been better.
So she's not, you would say she is higher on the list than she was before.
Potentially.
Okay. See,
She hasn't
You're
moved
just gonna
down.
let me be the guy who takes all the heat, and you can just skirt around, and you lean
Well, I
in on
didn't.
the
I
guy
didn't
who just
co-sign
say
on that.
stuff
You
to
said
say
that.
stuff.
I didn't co-sign on it.
You're avoiding. You're sitting here on avoidance island.
I like Harley Cameron.
So do I. Yo, did you see her ventriloquist thing where she was where she had the low voice?
Mm-hmm.
I had to show that to Megan, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, she's a ventriloquist. I need you to tell me straight up, is this the same person doing both voices? And she saw it and she was like, that's a different person. But she's so talented.
Yeah.
Make Harley Cameron a third person in the inspiration. Tony Khan, sign Jesse McKay, sign Cassie Lee. Do it before WWE can get their mitts on him. Make Harley Cameron the third member of the inspiration. You add an extra I to it. It's the I inspiration. Perfect. It's the best. It's like if the beautiful people picked a person better than Madison Rayne or Lacey Von Erich.
Well, that was poor Chelsea's pitch.
What?
To be the third iconic.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've read that or heard that somewhere.
I mean, I'll take it. I mean, I think it's a little better than since they're all Aussie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works. It hits a little better. They understand the true power of Vegemite and Tim Tams and King koalas having chlamydia. They know it all, baby. Drop bears. They're real. But yeah, man, there's so many good things about AEW. And like, that's what really pisses me off about fans today. And I mentioned it earlier in the voicemail, right? Like people who people who don't like talking about wrestling that you don't watch and just hand waving over AEW saying it sucks, but it hasn't sucked in a long time. It just happens to be the last time you gave it a chance. It sucked real bad. It doesn't anymore. And I'm excited. AEW has hidden the negatives and accentuated the positives aside from the Death Rider stuff, right? Like, and even then, it looks like that's dwindling down.
And it's been a little bit better because there's been some interest, like they've finally been gotten to. So now there's some interest, something's different. There's some advancement.
Well,
I think there's some questions.
I think the big advancement is, unfortunately, it's the injury to Pac. Because right now, the Death Riders don't have they can't play the numbers advantage right now.
Well, as much, yeah.
Right. Like, say, for example, the reason they lost the trios titles is because they didn't have the flexibility of Mox and Marina running distraction. Mox had to step in, fill in, and take over for Pac. Right? Now, yeah. Phil. But like one-on-one, we got the numbers advantage again. So like when we get to the May 14th match with Joe, I expect the Death Riders F around Playground some more. And I'm curious if between now and then, the Death Riders do what the Callis family did, do what the Ops did. They find a new Death Rider. Which, honestly, we've been begging for them to find for months now.
Right. But if Pac is going to be out and it fits into the storyline, like, okay, this is actually a good surprise. Right. Where, okay, they're on the brink of not existing anymore, of crumbling. They're desperate. Now's the time for a new member. That makes sense. Before, it was just like, this is boring, add a new person. Don't like surprise culture. Don't like that. But this makes sense. And if they don't, it also makes sense. yeah, man, AEW is kicking booty. I'm liking what they're doing. I still wish it was Powerhouse Hobbs versus Mox instead of Joe, but it's at the point if Hobbs isn't going to win, which he should, then go ahead and put Joe in. Joe's bulletproof. And there's the name value there between the two. So, yeah, man.
I don't think it goes to Joe, by the way. I don't think Joe wins.
I don't think so either.
I think they're going to try to make something of this Owen. And if it's not the Owen, it's Swerve later. Y'all, because it just feels like Y'all in is the closest we're going to get to the end.
Yeah.
Like to do it away, to end the title reign on a spring breakout.
Yeah.
Has big Lex Luger beating Hulk Hogan 5 days before Road Wild energy.
Which we had wanted for Hobbs.
Right.
It was going to be dope.
But I don't know if I want it for Joe.
Yeah.
Right? Like Joe already got it. Joe got it by winning the trios titles.
Right. And he's been AEW champion before.
Right.
And he's been Samoa Joe for the last 20 plus years.
Correct.
Like, give me Hobbs. But
Right.
other than that, man, AEW, like, I'm really like just talking about it. I'm like getting fired up, ready for Dynamite. Like, I wish it was on now. I wish I could go watch it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty pumped up.
Luckily for me, I still haven't watched Collision. So that gives me something to look forward to tomorrow during my workday. Have that on in the background and carve away an hour and 40 minutes of my day while looking at spreadsheets and answering questions and avoiding stupidity at all costs, which I think is everyone's job everywhere. It's like just maximizing the number of hours you can avoid just boo-boo the fool. So, but yeah, man, all in all, man, with everything being everything, wrestling's awesome. Regardless of like what your brand of wrestling is, what's your preferred choice. Wrestling, pare everything else away. Wrestling's awesome. You try to peel the external factors aside. Four corners, 3 ropes, nothing better. Give me something good. And that's AEW. When WWE's on top of their stuff, that's WWE. Apparently, I'm following the Discord right now. DJ and Brett have heavily promoted the latest Stardom show. This is out of the Lifestyle's mouth. Stardom All-Star Grand Queendom 2005. Brett says, quote, show of the year. Last 6 matches are unreal. 2 all-timers. Please watch. And then there's NSFW ads for the horny folk. And then I see a great joke about someone calling Bam Bam Bigelow Wrestling Guy Fieri. And that just makes me kind of happy when DJ goes, the feast from the east and greetings from Flavortown. I'm cool with that. Diners, drive-ins, and diving headbutts. I'm here for it. Make a shirt. Sign it up. But is there anything else you need to cover? We need to talk about as we kind of put a bow on stuff?
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Just shout out everybody for calling in. Thank you. I love hearing from everybody for listener banter. Thank you to those who have checked out not the Discord, well, the Discord too, but the Patreon. Yes. Big thank you to those who have signed up on any level for what we got. Reminder to sign up through the website or any other means other than through Apple, through the Apple Store, through the app. That will charge you extra money.
I think it's also through Google Pay too.
Okay.
So if you want to subscribe at the lowest rate possible, do so on Big Browser, doing so through your phone's app store, there's an extra fee. The fee does not, so as full disclosure, the fee does not come out on our end. So if you're worried about it taking away from the payout for us, it doesn't. It's actually just taking money away from you because those extra fees are going to Apple or Google as being the merchant services provider. And that goes into my super secret science job that I actually do. I know too much about that right now. So the extra fees go to them. So like Patreon still gets the $5, but the 30 cents goes to the poison of choice, right? Whether it's Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, the whole shebang. So we appreciate it nonetheless for you patrons, or upcoming patrons. Episode 1 of Deep Impact is up and available live right now. Episode 2 drops on the 1st, so later this month. And we have decided
later this week,
a whole nother month, right? May is nothing more than April Junior. But we've made a decision between Marcus and I. This is kind of breaking news for the Patreon. Deep Impact is going to be a bi-monthly show. So it's not once a month. It's going to be twice a month, every other weekend. So expect it on the 1st and the 15th, like your paycheck, right? For example. So we're always going to have stuff new, and that's not going to impact the rest of the lineup that we have putting out, right? So we got to get into the lab for fake sports. We got a lot of NFL draft talk that we can talk about. So we'll saddle up some horses, get some talking about that, and then a possible third episode or a bonus show somewhere else. We will figure it all out, but we appreciate you guys for being early adopters. So if you're still on the fence or if you're already locked in, absolutely appreciate you regardless either way. Marcus, did you buy anything this week?
No purchases from me.
I had to buy some parts for Megan's car.
I did have my car inspection. That was a big boy purchase.
How did we do?
Under 4 figures, but barely.
Why is it so much every time you go?
It was the brakes and the this and the that. And so I thought it was going to be tires, and it was just the brakes. So I said, okay, just the brakes. Again, in my brain, I don't have a monthly car payment. So if I have to pay 2 or 3 months car payments once a year, I'm still making out better than making a down payment and then having a monthly payment on top of that. I'm gonna just keep riding into the ground. So that was my weekly purchase. Thank you for the Iggy.
Yeah. So driving around town, we're stopped at the local grocery store, and the grocery store is right next to a pet supply store. And we had to pick up some more kitty litter for our cats. But they share a parking lot, but it's like, it's far enough. You have to drive to the other one. And so the car is riding fine as they park at the grocery store, but they get in the car and they go to the pet store, and the car starts like jerking real hard and like real weebly wobbly. We end up hooking it up to get the computer gimmick you plug into the bottom of the car. I learned how to read codes. So we had to buy all new spark plugs and coil packs for the car. So we're out a little bit of money for that, and then of course the elbow grease of it. And shout outs to the father-in-law for the assist on that. That was awesome as well. But I did
instruction shocks, flocks.
You know that I ain't bragging. Have you ever seen a dragon? Grease lightning. But got another. We actually had a big boy, another purchase at the local Target, making a doll safari, and I found on the shelf the pay-per-view exclusive of Sting from Our Evolution. They literally had 4 on the shelf, and I hit up my 3 dogs, and everybody passed, and I was ready to empty them from house and home. So we went to 2 Targets. The first Target had the Sting luminaries, but the white tights, not the Blade Runner version.
Okay.
And I was going to buy it, and I was like, yeah, I don't like the face paint. And I was telling Megan, I was like, Sting's my favorite wrestler, but it's like AEW only has rights to Sting at the very beginning of his career, what I don't really care for, and like the end of his career, which is cool, but the looks, there's not that many looks, right?
Yeah.
All the cool looks are in a time period that cannot be used. And they probably never will be used again. So I either have to like fork it out on the secondary market through eBay or hope that Real Estate Steve signs a Legends deal and we get some more Mattels made. But I think the likelihood of that is slim to none, especially with AEW being in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
So got the Sting dolly. That's good. And that is, I think that wraps up all the weekly purchases for me. Right. Marcus, do you have anything to plug?
May 3rd, Norfolk, Virginia. Mr. Pig's going to be down there. Big VCW Virginia Heavyweight Championship match. Taking on Devontae. Like big men slapping and bumping meats. That's what that match is going to be all about. A lot of good business going down there. So go ahead and check it out. If you can't in person, a YouTube watch when the match drops always helps. Should be in the weeks or days following that event as well. So other than that, that is everything I can think of for plugs.
Yeah, that pretty much nails it. And we appreciate you guys for listening or watching. If you're on the Patreon, Linktree/Final Wrestling Place, it gives you everything you can find for us everywhere, whether it's the podcast, the Patreon, the YouTube, social media, everything's there. A nice whole cloth, one place to rule them all. We are proud members of the soon-to-be-named network, soon-to-be-named network.tumblr.com, at STBN Network on social media, at Odds with Wrestling, Longbox Heroes, We Need Wrestling. The 4 pillars of the soon-to-be-named network, not discrediting everything else, but at least the ones I know off the top of my head. If you want to leave us a voicemail, 757-354-3070, always the number to dial. You can text it, you can call it, you can leave us an email. We'd love to hear from you at all points in time. We will be back here next week for more fun, more conversations. We're glad to have you with us. But right now, Marcus, all that's left is to tell the people goodbye.
Bye, y'all.